Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB games scheduled for Monday, April 7th, 2025. Now, if you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your baseball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my top play in Major League Baseball each day, that's my rundown best bet, you can find those at the premium picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alright, here we go. Here are the games for Monday, Major League Baseball. First up, the St. Louis Cardinals taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Matthew Liberatore for St. Louis, no official starter for the Pirates. This is a tough game, and overall, it's a pretty tough card in Major League Baseball for Monday. It is a travel day. We got some new series starting, and I do think there's some uncertainties with certain teams. We know the Cardinals and the Red Sox both coming off the doubleheader on Sunday. Some teams like the Pirates, no official starters, so I think it's going to be a tricky day in Major League Baseball. I would tread lightly. For this game, I'm going to lean towards the Cardinals in the first five. I actually think Liberatore pitched well in his season debut, and he's pitched well against these Pirates in his career. The Pirates have not done great against lefties to start the season. Granted, it was a very small sample size, but I still think Liberatore pitches well early. The Pirates have not really been able to figure out this bullpen game before Paul Skeens, whether it's Carmen Mlodzinski or Harrington. It just hasn't worked out for the Pirates. So, when they get their pitchers back in the rotation, like Jones, they'll be fine, pitching-wise. But in this type of game, I do think the Cardinals can get on the board early. I just wouldn't want to trust their bullpen right now after that doubleheader. So give me the St. Louis Cardinals in the first 5 innings. Next up, the New York Yankees taking on the Detroit Tigers. Carlos Rodon and Casey Mize are your starters. Now, Carlos Rodon, not his best in his last game against the Diamondbacks. 4 runs given up, 4 walks in a 4-3 Diamondbacks win. He took the loss in that game. And also another home run, makes it back-to-back starts, giving up at least 1 home run. I think Detroit can get to him. Detroit's actually had some decent numbers against lefties, top 15 in both team OPS and isolated power, also WRC+. So while the strikeout rate's still a little bit steep, and Rodon should be able to earn 5+, 6+ strikeouts in this game, I don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, Casey Mize pitched very well in his season debut. The Tigers are traditionally play pretty tough against these Yankees. We've seen some great series between these two, especially at Comerica Park. So I'm going to go with Detroit in this one on the money line at home. Next up, we have the Blue Jays and the Red Sox. We got Easton Lucas and Richard Fitts on the mound. Now, the Blue Jays are coming off a pretty rough series at Citi Field where they got swept by the Mets. But I do think they're catching the Red Sox at a pretty good time in this one because you got the Red Sox not only coming off a doubleheader, but one of those games going to extra innings. Richard Fitts is a decent option, but Easton Lucas pitched really well in his season debut. 5 innings, just only 3 strikeouts, but no runs, only 1 hit, and that was a 4-2 Blue Jays win over the Nationals. And I think Lucas does enough here to keep the Blue Jays competitive. I think the bats wake up a bit after a pretty sluggish weekend. Give me the Blue Jays in this one on the money line at a great price. Next up, we have the Los Angeles Dodgers taking on the Washington Nationals. Dustin May and Mackenzie Gore are your starters. I'm going to lean towards the under in this game. We got 2 good starting pitching options. Mackenzie Gore is the ace of this rotation. He was excellent on opening day. Wasn't as strong in the second start against the Blue Jays, but that was on the road. I think he pitches pretty well in this one, 5-6 sharp innings. Dustin May was excellent in his season debut. I think he puts together a great 2025 campaign. I'm going to go with the under in Dodgers Nationals. Next up, the Minnesota Twins and the Kansas City Royals. Simeon Woods Richardson and Michael Lorenzen are your starters. It's tough to trust the Twins right now when you look at the Sunday performance. 7-1 lead, gone, and 7-5 lead in the 9th inning. The bullpen, which I've mentioned, I think is one of the best bullpens on paper in all of baseball. It blew the lead in that game, and Griffin Jax, I think, is one of the best relievers in all the league. And he gives up a 2-run shot to Jordan and even struggled after that in the 9th inning. So it's just a tough look there for Minnesota. You wonder, Rocco Baldelli, who already was on the hot seat going into the season, in my opinion, that seat is in fuego right now, especially, after a loss like that and a 3-6 start. I do think the Twins battle back, though. I think it's tough to bounce back from a loss like that, but I like their chances here against Lorenzen. I still think they have the bullpen advantage despite what we've seen recently. I think they figure it out there. I think the Twins take this game. I think this is going to be a big series, a crucial series for both teams, but I think the Twins find a way to win this one and go on to win this series. Next up, the Miami Marlins taking on the New York Mets. We're going to see Kodai Senga and Connor Gillespie on the mound. Both of these starting pitchers pitched in last week's series at Lone Depot Park, and both actually pitched pretty well, but the opposition was able to take the game. Kodai Senga in a 4-2 Miami win, and Gillespie in a 6-5 Mets extra innings victory. Now, for me, I think Senga is still the better option by a good margin in this game. And early on in that start, it was his season debut. Got to remember, he's coming off a pretty injury-ridden season. He did leave some pitches over the heart of the zone early in that game, led to a few runs for the Fish. But as the rest of the start went on, he was really sharp. He was able to earn 8 strikeouts in just 5 innings of work. So I do think Senga pitches well in this game, especially at Citi Field. And I think the Mets can get to Gillespie the second time around. They were able to get to him in spring training for, a few runs, and it was a lot of the starters in the Mets lineup. So I think that the Mets can find a few off Gillespie early, add a few against the weak Marlins bullpen. Give me the Mets in this one on the run line at home. Next up, we have the Texas Rangers taking on the Chicago Cubs. Justin Steele and Nathan Eovaldi are your starters. I'm still not in love with the form that Justin Steele's in right now. Giving up another 2 home runs makes it 5 on the season thus far, and that ground ball to fly ball ratio for what used to be a ground ball specialist starting pitcher, just not where it needs to be. I like the fact that he was able to earn 6 strikeouts in 6 2/3, only the 1 walk given up. His control in terms of missing outside the zone has not been a real problem, but he has been leaving pitches over the heart of the plate. Teams have been able to take advantage, and when you got Nathan Eovaldi, who's coming off a complete game shutout on the other side, there's just not a lot of margin for errors. So I got to go with the Texas Rangers in this one on the money line on the road. Next up, the Arizona Diamondbacks hosting the Baltimore Orioles. Zach Eflin and Zach Gallen are your starters. Gallen was excellent in that last start against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. He goes 6 2/3, no runs, no walks, 13 strikeouts. Just a big-time bounce back after his struggles in his season debut. I think he pitches well in this game, even though the Orioles are a tough matchup, so are the Yankees. And, Zach Eflin on the other side, last game against the Red Sox, 8 base hits given up in just 6 innings of work. Another home run as well. We've seen him have some issues with the home run ball the last couple of years. I think the Diamondbacks get to him at Chase Field, a hitter-friendly ballpark. Give me the Diamondbacks in this one on the money line. Next up, the Houston Astros taking on the Seattle Mariners. This is usually a fun series in the AL West. We're going to see Hayden Wesneski and Logan Gilbert on the mound. I do think this is a big-time pitching mismatch in favor of Seattle. Logan Gilbert, great strikeout stuff. He's already got 18 Ks in 12 innings of work. Now, he wasn't good enough in that last game against the Tigers to pick up the win. He gave up some early runs, and Detroit won that game 4-1. But as we saw in that series with the Giants, the Mariners' offense definitely had a pulse in that series. They were starting to limit the strikeouts more, get on base via the walk. They had the big day in the first game of that series with like 15 base hits. So I think Seattle's starting to show some things. They should be able to get to Wesneski, get some runs against the Astros bullpen. I like Seattle in this one on the money line and run line. Next up, the Cincinnati Reds taking on the San Francisco Giants. We've got a rematch from opening day between Hunter Green and Logan Webb. These are the starters on opening day, and while Hunter Green was the better option on the mound in terms of his performance on opening day, the Giants were actually able to win that game with a comeback victory in the 9th inning. It was an Ian Gabot blown save. San Francisco took advantage and won 6-4. I think this time around, Logan Webb, I actually like his chances to pitch a lot better in this game. We know the Reds' offense has been very inconsistent in the last week, and more so to the bad side of things. And, Logan Webb has been just great at Oracle Park in his career. He has not pitched there yet this season. He had 2 road games, the struggle at Great American Ballpark, but a big-time bounce back at Minute Maid Park, Daikon Park now in Houston. 7 innings, 1 run, 6 strikeouts. And now he gets to pitch in his first game at home. I think he pitches very well. I mentioned I still think that there's some regression for Hunter Green. He has been great, though, so far. His strikeout numbers are off the chart, so it's tough not to like his game. I just think it's not necessarily he's going to pitch poorly this year. I just don't think he should be priced as an ace-level starter against other ace-level starters right now. So for that reason, I'm going to go with the Giants on the money line. And the final game we're to talk about for the Monday card in Major League Baseball, it's the Padres and the Athletics. We're going to see Michael King and Luis Severino as the starters. I do think this is a tough spot for the A's after the Coors Field series. No days off in between. We mentioned it really does affect every player, but especially the bats in a game like this. I do think that the Athletics struggle to score against Michael King, who really bounced back in his second outing after his struggles in his season debut. Severino was also not anywhere near as sharp as his first start of the season. His last game against the Cubs, he gave up 5 earned runs, a couple of home runs, ended up being a 7-4 Chicago win. So I just can't trust the A's in this one. I think overall this will be a more competitive series the rest of the way. But in this first game, I think it's all San Diego. Give me the Padres on the money line and run line. And that's it. Those are the games for Monday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium, and there is a link in the description. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.